At a motorcycle repair shop in Majiakao, Shifang Town, I discovered this bike. The owner said it caught fire while charging an electric vehicle next door, and his bike got burned as well. This is a Suzuki, a pretty big one. When I checked its dashboard, I saw its top speed could reach 280 kilometers per hour. The owner said he bought this bike for 4,000 yuan, and once it's fixed, he could easily sell it for over 10,000 yuan. Now he doesn't want to fix it anymore, and told me that if I add another 1,200 yuan, I could take the whole pile, so I brought it back with me. The fire probably started from the back of the bike, and the left side was burned more severely. The seat on top is also completely ruined. This part here should be the important ECU and the battery. They're both completely destroyed. Fortunately, the gas tank just got smoked and turned pitch black, but it didn't explode. Peeling off its protective cover, you can see a lot of fire extinguisher powder inside. From what I can tell, there probably isn't any major issue with the engine, so we most likely got a bargain. If the engine of this bike is still good, even if all the other parts are ruined, we can still take it out and sell it to Boston, and I don't think we'd lose out. As for this battery, I can't even tell what brand it is anymore. It's been burned like this. It doesn't seem like there are any signs of an explosion either. This is the so-called ECU, and now it's completely done for. Look, the tire hasn't burned through completely yet, but I really don't know if the metal rim can still be used safely. I think I found the reason why this fuel tank didn't explode. Most likely, it's thanks to the heat insulation pad underneath the tank. You can see that the wires in this area show a lot of burn marks, but underneath the belly of the tank is just blackened and carbonized. I directly cut off those burnt wires. Continuing forward, the air filter and throttle body up front are both heavily blackened. Even after rubbing them with my hand for quite a while, only some surface soot came off. Looks like I'll need to use dry ice to clean them later. I removed the protective panels on both sides of the car to expose the engine. I can confirm that the engine has never been disassembled or repaired. It's still the original. However, most of the wiring throughout the car has been burned down to bare copper and charred. Carbonized hoses can be seen everywhere. The scrapped rear tire and the entire burned out rear brake system. I think just fixing these parts alone would cost at least 3,000 or 4,000 yuan, and on top of that, there's a brake pedal that's almost been burned to charcoal. Now, we need to figure out a way to get this engine running first. I'll temporarily hook up an external battery and connect the wires directly to the starter motor. Now this engine can still turn over directly, so it looks like I need to figure out a way to get an ECU for it. But look at all the debris we've got from dismantling this old car. I still have to rely on my modification manual. I only use 6 of them, and I got this thing. Unfortunately, I couldn't buy the connector plug for it, but I was resourceful enough. I just connected the wires directly to its pins and was able to confirm that there was nothing wrong with the car. Now I just need to figure out a solution for the plug, and then I can connect the other end to the car with peace of mind. For the connectors, I used heat shrink tubing. I connected about this many wires, and that doesn't even include the ones I short-circuited or skipped. I found detailed repair manuals for all of this, so I'm confident I didn't connect any wires incorrectly. But just when I thought I could turn the key and start it up, it threw me another curveball. Turns out this key doesn't even belong to this car. I really should have reminded me to check the key when you bought the car. Now the only thing I can do is use my own method to cut it open. Also, to the crew, remember the look on my face when I eat later. If you ever lose your car key, call me. I'll come rescue you. There shouldn't be any more problems with the circuit now. Let's go check the fuel system. This is its fuel tank. I just pulled the tank out, and you can see the rust on top is really severe. Luckily, the bottom is plastic, so it only burned through some rusted parts. To test whether the fuel pump was working or not, I directly used wires to connect its terminals, and just as I suspected, there was no response at all. In cases like this, it's usually because the fuel pump has been sitting unused for too long and has seized up. Just find something to tap it a few times, and that should pretty much fix it. After confirming that there was no problem with the fuel tank, I quickly put it back in because I couldn't wait to prove to you that I really scored a huge bargain. Now the fuel is in, and the power is connected, so we can try to start it up. Wish me luck. Now we just need to deal with this fuel tank. Since we can now confirm that there's nothing wrong with the engine, we can move on to dealing with the other components. Let's start with the fuel tank. I'm just going to slather it with paint remover. Let it sit here and soak for a while. It seems like this fuel tank still has its original paint, because it's much easier to work with than the tank from that Suzuki 750 last time. Once I remove the terrible paint from the surface, the bare metal underneath is revealed. It still looks pretty straight and solid. Next, we'll stick to the usual routine. First, spray a layer of Huayang primer to prevent rust, then lightly apply some putty to fill in these two small dents. After that, we can spray a coat of intermediate primer to even out the color, and then finally, we can spray on the original factory blue top coat. Because the sides of the fuel tank have dark gray and light gray details, I sprayed it twice. After peeling off the masking tape, I also applied a 1:1 scale fine woven tank decal. Applying this decal was quite a task. Then I gave the whole thing a coat of clear gloss. Now it can be sent to the paint booth. The high temperature baking makes it solidify, and in the end, we get this glossy and crystal clear fuel tank. This is the legendary 3-Gin Big Chili Pepper. Next, I'll remove its burnt rear wheel and pull off the half-burnt headlight at the front. There are still a few parts with mud left, but now the bike is basically stripped clean. The front part is fine. All the issues are concentrated around the rear frame. Next, we'll go in and give it a thorough cleaning with dry ice. I used more than 70 gin of dry ice in total and finally got the frame completely clean. Now please put on your gloves. Xiaoyang started assembling the bike again. During the assembly process I noticed a lot of details about this bike. For example, these slightly thicker screws are all hollow, and about 95% of the parts on this bike are made of aluminum alloy. Also, I managed to buy all the external shells that were burned from Jishi, though the price was really painful. It's his outer shell. Look, they actually wrote 150,000 water here. All this pain in my wallet suddenly feels worth it. The seat cushion has been installed. Now, this vehicle, which was called a land aircraft 2 or 3 years ago, has been fully restored with zero damage. It looks exactly like it did in the promotional posters when it first came out, except now it carries many more stories. Come on, let's go make history together. The land aircraft from 23 years ago really lives up to its name. With a 1300cc engine, it feels like as soon as you twist the throttle, it's ready to take off. Of course, you need to have nerves of steel to handle it. In the end, I still want to thank you for helping me fix this. Wishing you good health.